One of Alabama's big wins in that streak was over Georgia. Georgia, though, they bounced back with a big win themselves.
Huge.
A monster win over Ole Miss. This is a game that Simone and I shook on at right here on Friday. I said that Georgia was going to cover the spread there. Spread was 7.5. Georgia ends up winning there by 8, 43-35, the final score. And there you see it. Patrick put it right there on the graphic. 17 unanswered points in the fourth quarter. So I was sweating the 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, all I have to say about this was I was watching the game in the third quarter before I left to go to a fine establishment with you and Simone. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, oh my goodness, the 7.5 point spread, but it's on the other side. There's no way they're going to be able to cover it now.
Right.
And then Georgia just comes out of nowhere and just drops 17 unanswered in the fourth quarter. I was literally left speechless.
Yeah. And the offense has not looked that solid throughout the. And they've gotten off to slow starts. We've talked about that on this program. That slow start has been their bugaboo all season long. But the way they finished the game seemed like very, very impressive. And that's kind of the Kirby Smart staple, but we just hadn't seen it that much this year.
I mean, I was just thoroughly impressed with how Gunnar Stockton played in this game. 5 total touchdowns. I know we talked last week about how Georgia really and Kirby alluded to this after the game, was how Georgia isn't really a team that's just going to deliver knockout blow after knockout blow.
Correct.
They're going to give you quick little jabs, and then in the fourth quarter, that's when they'll hit you with the knockout punch. Well, this was the first game where we really saw Georgia actually take it to a defense.
Right.
And it was shocking because once I was doing the research, I mean, the Ole Miss defense has not been that great this year.
No, they have not. And it hasn't been, I think the thing is, it hasn't been as glaringly bad as Arkansas's defense has or Tennessee's defense has. They've looked glaringly bad. This defense for Ole Miss feels like it has some leaks, and it felt like those leaks were exposed on Saturday in that matchup. You see it right there, perfectly put. More than 500
You're
yards
not going to win.
You're not winning games. No, you can't. You can't win SEC games on the road or at home or on neutral sites with that situation going on there. As you mentioned, 17 unanswered in the fourth. Those 2 touchdowns and a field goal, more than 360 yards per game allowed. That is 13th in the SEC. So as much as we talk about with Lane Kiffin and that offense, and just how strong they can be, this defense will not be able to sustain the rest of the season if Ole Miss wants to punch their ticket to the college football playoff.
No, and honestly, I'm going to, again, bring up my favorite team because I like to make fun of them. This is college football's version of the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I mean, it simply put is that. I mean, you could maybe make the argument for Tennessee.
Right.
I mean, they put up a lot of points too, but as you can see here, Trinidad Chambliss suffers his first Division I loss coming over from Ferris State.
Yep.
I thought the graphic during the game that I believe, was it an ABC game? Or
I think it was ABC.
I thought it was interesting, the amount of people that were in attendance.
I saw this, yeah.
You had to combine all of the road game attendance from last year at Division II, and you still needed to add 20,000 more.
Yes.
And then you would have gotten what it was over there in Athens. Yeah. But I seriously thought he played well.
No, me too. Considering the circumstances, I thought he played really well. And I'm right there with you because I saw that graphic too, that he played in front of a combined 70,000. They fit 90,000 between the hedges. And so, with all that said, I think it was either Burger McFarland or somebody in their studio show had said, a lot of times what ends up happening is when the crowd gets louder, you rush a little bit. It's not that you're playing bad. You just tend to rush a little bit. But he felt like he was calm in the moment the entire game. It's just that the defense really made it hard for him in the offense to be able to keep track blow for blow.
And I think it was a great bounce back game from how he played against Washington State.
Absolutely.
I feel like that was the one bump in the road so far this year that kept him from, being honestly a Heisman front runner, maybe potentially in the Heisman conversation. Yeah. This loss, it's going to get overshadowed by the defense. I mean, we'll hear from Lane Kiffin in a minute, but it could have been a historic road start.
Yeah.
For a guy that came over from the Division II level. I mean, it was incredible.
And wasn't starting beginning of the season, and if it wasn't for an injury to Austin Simmons, he wouldn't be playing anyways. But he's taking advantage of his moments. He had a lot of explosive plays. We heard Kirby Smart be able to talk about those and allowing those explosive plays on Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's the hardest part for us, is that who we are is, we've talked about it, this methodical, bludgeon you heavyweight boxer that just wants to box will you, and then try to knock you out in the fourth. Well, that's hard to do when that scoreboard's lighting up, because every now and then, everything's not perfect. And all of a sudden you end up in a third down, and all of a sudden you got to punt, or you got to go for it on 4th and 1 or 2. You can't live in that world. You to play like we're playing offensively, which in this game was incredible. You got to get some defensive stops. And
yeah, let's flip it around to the other side there for Ole Miss, because Ole Miss, as you mentioned, the quarterback played really well. I think there was spurts and moments of that football game where they felt, okay, we have a chance here to win, and I think that they just there was just these small moments in the football game, in my opinion, that were the key difference in this game for Lane Kiffin and company, and it's something that I think that it could be a learning lesson for Ole Miss as they move forward.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like Ole Miss is definitely still in the conversations to make the college football playoff. I mean, we'll take a look at their schedule here in a minute, but it is very favorable for them to honestly finish with no more than 2 losses. I still think that they finished the season with Georgia being the only loss. I really like Lane Kiffin getting this Rebel team into the SEC championship game. It's just, how much are they going to learn from this game? And honestly, when they had the ISO shot of Chambliss on the sidelines after the game, it kind of gave me like a Tom Brady down 28-3 vibes. I mean, you could tell that he was frustrated, and how much is it going to burn? Yes. That's the real question. Is it going to fuel you to finish the season strong, or is it going to stick with you like, man, I gotta do everything in order for us to win?
Right, and we've seen teams make that bounce back after a loss. Saw Alabama at the beginning of the season, lost to Florida State. They bounced back, and they haven't lost since. Saw Georgia lose to Alabama. They bounced back. Saw Oklahoma lose to Texas. They bounced back. So I'm really interested to see how Ole Miss handles this, going on a high-caliber game, a lot of eyeballs on it. You get the letdown, and how they bounce back after this one. I'm really interested in that, because to me that's the mark of a good team, is how you handle some adversity, and then also the way you handle success on the back end there as well. We got a chance to hear from Lane Kiffin comparing his quarterback to another sport, pitchers.
Yeah, I talked to Trinidad. Really, I felt like, it'd be like a baseball pitcher, maybe to go and playing at Fenway or something, really hard place to play against a, great defensive coach team in Kirby and Schumann that have shut down a lot of quarterbacks and a lot of bad quarterback ratings. And I felt like pretty much probably pitched 6-7 innings of almost no-hit ball, certainly shutout ball if you were putting in a baseball pitching analogy, and then didn't finish it off, there at the end, last couple drives. And had he, it would have been a historical game, to continue at the rate he was playing at or pitching in this analogy. And would have been amazing to do, but we didn't finish it off offensively, and it's too bad, because those were 6-7 really phenomenal innings that he pitched, if you put it in that perspective.
I really like the way he worded that and the way he put that, because it really does kind of illustrate the kind of game he played. So you really, like Casey was talking about with Joey Aguilar, you can't really put it all on the quarterback's shoulders. Sometimes when the offense takes a dip, you want to do that, but they couldn't really do it. But as he mentioned there, these are the drive charts, and I'll start in the second quarter for Ole Miss. It's touchdown, 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 touchdown. Before the wheels start to fall off a little bit. They have 2 straight punts. They have a turnover on downs there in the fourth quarter. But I mean, these two teams are going blow for blow, and the quarterback really answered the bell.
Yeah, and I don't know what you can pinpoint that last quarter not scoring a single point.
Right.
And I mean, maybe it was the inexperience of playing on the road, and you're up big against Georgia. You're already I don't really want to speculate, but maybe you're thinking you already got it in the bag. I know we see some teams start to play conservative when they have a lead, and then sometimes it comes back to bite them. But just looking forward, I mean, when you look at the rest of the schedule, outside of this next game, I really feel like they can actually make there's no way they finish with more than 2 losses, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got South Carolina, you got the Citadel, and you have Florida all at home. Mm-hmm. And then the last game of the year is the Egg Bowl.
Yeah. And this one upcoming is really interesting to me because these are 2 teams in the exact same spot.
Right.
Oklahoma, 1 loss in the SEC, 6-1 overall, 2-1 in league play. Rebels also 1 loss in league play, 3-1. They're 6-1 overall. And this is interesting because I would have expected this game to be either a 2:30 or primetime game. It's not. It's an 11 o'clock game. So it is going to be interesting to see how Ole Miss handles going on the road again in a tough environment and playing well again. Is it another chance to use Lane Kiffin's analogy once again? It's a good chance to go back to Fenway to a hostile environment and go get a win.
Yeah, I mean, you go from Fenway to Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
And those are your first 2 starts.
Right.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how Trinidad comes out and plays. Oklahoma, as Lane mentioned earlier this week, they've been able to pretty much shut down everybody. Mm-hmm. I mean, Arch didn't even play that great in their lone loss.
Right, exactly.
I mean, you take away the punt return for a touchdown.
Right.
And it's a 1-score game. They allowed maybe 1 touchdown.
Right. They played well across the board in order to make that happen. As it sits right now, Oklahoma is a 4.5-point favorite over Ole Miss.
Okay.
A top 15 battle there. Ole Miss coming in as the number 8 team in the country, and Oklahoma coming in at number 13. That game in Norman at 11 a.m.